I'm Stephen LeBlanc, your host with White Labs, an e-commerce marketing agency. Today's guest is Eric. Eric, feel free to introduce yourself and let our viewers know a little about yourself and your background.
Sure. So my name's Eric Hoshooley. I'm out of Ontario, Canada, just about an hour west of Toronto. Own a DJ and production company. Been around for 31 years now. Started in 1993. We've since grown to add in a whole bunch of amusements, fun food items, and have recently purchased a popcorn factory. So trying to become a one-stop shop.
Awesome. Well, tell me more about your brand and the business.
So yeah, I mean, we started out, like I said, I started when I was 13, in high school, looking for something to do, something a little bit more unique. Didn't want to just end up working at McDonald's like everybody else that I knew. So, enjoyed doing lighting, enjoyed doing sound, and thought that coming up with a DJ and production company would be cool. A bunch of friends sitting around in my basement one summer came up with the name Thunderstorm because we figured it kind of does lighting and sound. So it kind of went together, and then it's just grown, and ran it as a part-time business throughout high school, college, and then worked for the local telephone company for 20 years while still running this part-time. And now 2 years ago took it full-time.
Awesome. So what exactly does Thunderstorm do?
Everything. I mean, if you're doing any sort of an event, we supply everything to make it fun. So, I mean, from DJ services to outdoor movie nights with gigantic inflatable screens. We have a portable drink trailer that we built that does pop, draft beer, and water. We do cotton candy, popcorn, slushy, ice cream machines. We do the full service popcorn business, so we can sell bulk popcorn or do custom label, custom blended popcorn for people. Arcade and pinball machine rentals. I mean, like I said, just about everything that we can do. We've always wanted to be a company that a client can call and we can essentially provide everything they need for an event or anything that's fun to make their event more enjoyable, and just stop them from having to go to 500 different companies.
Awesome. One-stop shop. I like it. So who's your ideal target audience?
It used to be weddings. When I first started, it was weddings and schools. Unfortunately, the wedding market is very saturated. There's a lot of other DJs that have entered the market. It's a very low cost of entry to get into DJing now. Back in the day when we had to supply all our own media, whether it was records, tapes, CDs, you actually had to purchase them. Now everybody just downloads everything off the internet or has iTunes or whatever. So cost of entry is a lot lower. So our main focus now is corporate. We find that they like to make one call, have it all planned, have it all show up, not have to worry about anything, and then the event just happens. So that's kind of our focus because I feel that we can provide them with, any sort of options and things that they need.
Awesome. So what makes you, we'll say, better than your competitors?
From the DJ perspective, I think it's my staff. So we've got a team of about 6 guys.
Great.
They've all been around for a long time. They have a lot of experience. And what's a little bit unique with our business is that when a customer or a couple call in, and they want to book us for their wedding, for example, we book the event, they start filling out a planner, and then our DJs, with this custom CRM system that we developed, they have an app and they also have a web-based version where they can go in, they get an email every day showing what the new events that are coming out are, and they can peruse them and see like what the age group of the couple is, what their musical tastes are, what sort of music they're requesting for the event, and then our DJs will pick those events based on their personality. So if we've got a DJ that's better off with like more wedding anniversaries, corporate, that sort of stuff, he'll take the older weddings. If there's a DJ that's more into the club stuff, the younger music, he might take the couple that's into that type of music and they're in their late 20s, early 30s. So the nice thing about us is by having multiple DJs that are all highly skilled, we can match those people with the personality of our DJ so that we make sure that everything jives.
Awesome. What are your best-selling services or your most popular services you have?
Other than the DJ stuff, I'd say all of our fun food things because like there's not a lot of companies that offer those products. There's a lot of people that do cotton candy and popcorn, but when we branched out and started renting out the slushy machines, and the soft serve ice cream machines and stuff like that, there's not many people that do it. So it's a very unique opportunity for us, and it gets us into a lot of really unique events just because we do have that available.
Awesome. That's great. So being an entrepreneur like yourself and having your brand, What are some challenges you faced in the last few years, and how were you able to overcome them?
COVID was fun. Um, what happened with us is we were in the process of growing right before it happened. Actually, had just gone out and bought a new special events vehicle. We bought a Sprinter about 2 weeks before COVID hit. So that was kind of exciting because all of a sudden you've got this payment to make and no business coming in. So we quickly had a little bit of a meeting with our staff and talked to everybody. And I'm always good under pressure to try to come up with new ideas and try to branch out. So the first thing we started doing was offering live streaming weddings, because a lot of people, they were still getting married, but you could only have 10 people, 5 people, 20 people, whatever the restrictions were at the time. So we were offering options so that people all over the world could tune in and watch the weddings. We've since, during COVID, also grew that into live streaming funeral services, which we still do. We actually have one coming up on Friday. But what really saved the business is because of all the popcorn we had been doing, we came up with a movie night snack box. So essentially, it had some vintage pop in it, some bags of candy, 2 bags of like our candy coated and caramel popcorn, and then a huge bag of our movie theater popcorn. And people would come to our shop and pick it up, or we delivered it. But because movie theaters were closed, people couldn't go out. It was a nice way to still have the theater experience, but do it at home. And then that even grew to, we had a bunch of corporate clients. We had one that ordered 300 of the boxes and wanted them all hand delivered to every one of their employees. So that really helped us get through COVID. So it's just a matter of seeing the ebbs and flows of the industry and the market, and trying to find new offerings and new things to set yourself apart from your competition, because that's always it. Even though we've been around for 31 years, we're still educating the customer. We're still trying to get people to know that we exist. So it's by being unique and different is what can really make your company shine over everybody else.
100%. Are you servicing Canada, United States? Where can we buy the popcorn or anything else on the site?
So primarily, right now, the business is just really local.
Okay.
But the nice thing about what we do is we're essentially a white label company. So we don't actually have a brand for the popcorn. We just make it for everybody else. So we can do import, export into the States if we need to. Anywhere across Canada we can ship to. So the nice thing is we can make custom colors, custom blends based on your company colors. We can print your logo on the bags, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, anybody can definitely check us out, and we'd be able to help them out.
Great. What's the future plan for yourself and the brand?
I want to keep growing it. I hope at some point that I can take more of a backseat role to it and just kind of oversee it as not as much of the day to day, because it's a lot of work. We're still trying to grow and still trying to add more staff. Just there's so many moving parts in a business like this, because it's
Or
essentially we're operating 3 separate companies under one umbrella. So and I kind of handle most of it. So it does become tiring after a while, and I'm not getting any younger, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that as it grows, we can add more staff. Now that we've got this facility, all the businesses run out of this same warehouse. So we've centralized everything, and it works a lot better that way. So yeah, the hope is eventually to be able to take a bit of a back seat and just kind of work on the direction of the business and growth of the business rather than the day to day.
awesome. So what activities have you seen in the past few years that have been successful to promote the brand?
Obviously, social media has been huge. I mean, I'm an old dinosaur, so my daughter's helping me learn things like TikTok and those types of things. But I think the biggest thing is just engagement, because people don't use the same methodologies that they used to. So the same ways that people would find you in the past are nowhere near the way they find you now. I also find that sometimes I talk to customers and I say, hey, how did you find us? Because if I can figure out how that younger demographic is coming to us, then I can focus my energy a little bit more on that. I found out that we've had probably 5 or 6 weddings come to us in the past month because somebody put a post up on Reddit.
Yeah. Wow.
I never hang out on Reddit. It was never a thing. So now I'm like constantly checking it all the time to make sure that, if people are talking about us, that I'm responding, or, at least keeping on top of everything. But yeah, there was, on one thread, there were about 20 or 30 people singing praises about our company. And I thought that was amazing to see, because it's a smaller, Facebook, I think, isn't working the same way that it used to. for getting the engagement. It's just literally learning all these new places because people just they migrate. They're like birds. They just, okay, now we're on Facebook, now we're on TikTok, now we're on Reddit, now we're on. So it doesn't make any sense. But in order to be a business in this day and age, you have to follow the flock and make sure that you're wherever they are so that you can always stay in front of them.
That's great advice. Whenever you're the second person in the last few months that has still uses Reddit for marketing. And whenever I think Reddit's dead, I hear stories like this. So it's amazing.
But like I said, Reddit was never a thing. I'd maybe perused it once or twice ever. But then, and here again, because I'm a dinosaur, for the longest time, my input form on my website didn't ask people where they saw us. And I'm like, well, that was dumb. So, since adding that, I'm tracking stuff more, but a lot of them kept saying Reddit, Reddit, Reddit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go search for myself. And sure enough, I found a couple threads and I'm like, okay, so somebody's reading this stuff. And
100%.
I think they're trusting people commenting on a thing like Reddit more than they would on like a Google review or a Facebook review or a post on Facebook. I think Reddit is more or less people saying exactly how they feel. And I think that changes kind of the outlet of what it is. It's not so commercial. It's like raw people with raw emotions saying how they feel about a specific thing.
I would agree with you on that because a lot of Google reviews can be fake also. So
Yep.
that's fair. Eric, what advice can you give entrepreneurs that are looking to start a brand here in 2024?
Wow, that's tough.
I know.
Because I've been having a lot of chats with a lot of my entrepreneurial friends lately, and as a joke, sort of as a joke, I've been saying that entrepreneurship should be listed as a mental disorder, because when you factor in all the time, the biggest thing as an entrepreneur, you have to love what you do. That is the number one thing. If you don't like what you're doing, don't start because it's not easy. And like I said, 31 years I've been doing this. I still have times when I'm like banging my head against a wall, right? So, but you do it because you believe in what you're doing, you believe in the company that you've created, and you believe in the product that you're serving to the public. So if you can wrap your head around all those, it will help you through those harder times. And especially now, coming out of COVID, everybody's got mental health issues, everybody's suffering, there's so much crap going on. Surround yourself with other entrepreneurs that you can go to for advice or even just somebody to listen to you, because entrepreneurs understand the struggles way more than somebody that has a normal 9 to 5 corporate gig. So surround yourself with people that can help you through those tough times and build you up and understand those struggles and things like that. That's the number one thing. And just make sure you love what you do before you take the leap.
It's great advice. Love it. Eric, anything I haven't asked you that you want our viewers to know about yourself and the brand?
No, I think you pretty much covered it, man. I appreciate being invited on. I always love spouting off and dumping whatever information I have. And if I can help one person, I mean that's awesome. That's what I want to do. And like I said, just love what you do. And they always say the old adage is if you enjoy the job that you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. So make sure that you like what you do, and then it'll be fine.
Awesome, Eric. Well, I appreciate your time today, and thank you for coming on the White Pod.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.